Are we putting in 100% effort with everything we're doing? That is what really matters, and that's what your instructors are looking for. I want that. So when I come here, I bring my knee up, because if you look right here, and I just keep turning the corner, boom. Okay, but if your foot's here, some of you are laying back and now it's trapped. So I have to take my heel and I have to circle it here. As I circle it now, I'm going to bring it over, Sensei. Look where I lean. Some of you guys are leaning here. It's impossible to get your leg. I lean this way, boom. Here, bring my leg over. Now it's hooked, now I come back. Boom. Okay? Another thing here, for technical terms, we'll talk about this later. This leg goes straight into Sensei Scott's neck. This is a choke here, armbar here. Boom. Okay, does that make a little more sense, everybody? That's why we're kneeing up into the armbar. Because our hip is holding that shoulder in place. Any space that you're given, right? To be a jiu-jitsu grappler, you have to be like the Anaconda. You gotta grab on your opponent and squeeze and work your way slowly. It's not about fast movements. It's slow, tight movements when we're working. Does anybody have any questions about that? Someone that knows what they're doing, like Sensei Carl, when you grapple him, he's never going to give you this. Okay, his elbows are pinned in, he knows better. Alright, but what will happen is if I start smacking him, he's gonna, from the bottom, when he sees an opportunity, he's gonna punch me. Boom. Okay, and that's why when that happens, he comes in and punches. Boom. Boom. Okay, that's why it's good to drill this. Drill. Chain grapple it. So then it's in your head. So when that situation, even if I get hit, it's just, it's like boom. It's my reaction to just start my movement for that. So now we're going to talk about a different setup and what's going to happen. And this one's an Americana, which we're going to learn today. We're going to learn the Americana first, and then we're going to learn how to, I call it chain grappling, you call it flow grappling, right sir? Yeah. Basically flow and chain grappling is you learn one move, and then what would happen how would your partners counter that? How in a street fight, if you did something, what would they do to defend it in a panic situation? And then you're always steps ahead of your opponents. You're always winning fights. You're always the dictator of the fight. Okay, so right in here, what I'm going to do is I would strike down. Gets him moving his hands. Right from here, both hands latch onto his arm, and I'm going to push it to the mat. Okay, what I'm going to do from there, can you see this, coach?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so again, I punch, get his hands moving, both hands, boom, I get him to the floor. The one that's on the wrist stays on the wrist. If you can't see, you can circle around, okay? I take this hand now, and I'm going to dive underneath his arm. Okay, underneath his arm, and I'm going to grab my own wrist here. Okay, so again, from here, under, boom. You know this from judo, I believe, right? Yes, sir. Arm lock, they call it like a V-lock in judo, I believe. Okay, and this is Americana in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Okay, right from here, you'll notice my elbow went next to Sensei Scott's head. How would I do that? Because right from here, watch this, bam, I'm going to elbow, boom, and then I'm going to have my hand in. Okay, we're always adding that stuff with our Jeet Kune Do. Come underneath, trap on top. Right from there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprawl my legs out, and I'm going to bring my head to the mat. Does anybody know why I'm going to do that? Think about my base, think about where my body is. Why do you keep it flat? Because where is Sensei Scott taking me? Boom. So if I come here and I have nothing, go ahead, sir. Boom. Now, okay? Yeah. And to be perfectly honest, with this move and the size of this guy underneath me, even with my head there, there's a good possibility this dude launches me off, but we'll see how that goes. So I come down here, I elbow in the face, I come here, I sprawl my legs out, I come here. Now go, sir. Boom. Okay, it's much more difficult. If I don't do this with my legs, the grapevine here, and I just come here and do my head, there's still, yeah, I'm telling you, a couple of those, and I'm heading. Alright, so one more time here. Punch, boom, to the ground. Wrist is there, dive under, please be real careful here. Grapevine our legs out, head to the mat. Once my head's to the mat, this elbow is going this way. So I'm here, down, up. Let's go now to talking about some escapes from the bottom. We're going to do our easy one first here. So I'll have Sensei Scott now. Alright, so first off, when I'm on the bottom, I want my elbows in. If he rides up on me, okay, I'm in big trouble, especially for punching. It's very hard for me to defend. So I want my elbows in. This is where I'm most powerful. When our elbows are by our hips, we engage all of our muscles. The minute my arms come away from my body, now my muscles aren't working together. They're starting to get separated. It's harder for me. Okay, so elbows in where I'm nice and strong. Right from here, I want this guy's arms down on the floor, so we're going to do like in our warm-up, my bump. I'm going to bump up. If my bump doesn't work while he's sitting up, if you just like do like cowboy thing, okay, it doesn't work, then I'm going to use my knee here, boom, bring him forward. Once he's forward, I'm just going to use this this arm so everybody can see because that's the majority on this side. I'm going to underhook his arm. Gable grip. Gable grip is all fingers together, connect here, and I'm going to pull his arm on my chest here. Right from here, I'm going to take this foot, I'm going to trap his leg. And all I'm going to do is use this elbow. See this elbow's in here? And I'm going to bring bridge up in the air, over. Boom. And I'll immediately get my posture underneath me so he doesn't pull me forward. Okay, one more time. Again, I'm going to just bump or use my knee to get him forward. I underhook. Do not overhook. There's a reason for this. Overhook here, he still has an arm down. He can use it 1 to base, okay, or 2 if I'm really strong, like let's say Sensei Scott doesn't move my arm today, he's going to break my arm, okay, or my wrist. So also for safety, I come underneath, gable grip, pull. Okay, if it's a real big guy, once I lock this foot here, I release with one hand, I use this as my swimming hand. Cool, posture immediately. Okay, if I don't have posture, I'm going to show you an example of bad posture. I come over. Boom. You obviously have an idea what you're doing, right? Boom, I come here, boom. Now I'm stuck. Now I'm in big trouble. Okay, so the minute I come around, I'm already looking for that posture because that's going to be my next escape from there. Okay, I'll do it without Sensei Scott. From here, bump, underhook, connect here. Walk the foot, we're either using elbow or snake here, up first. Always up to get the weight off of my partner's legs to sweep him. If I just go here, he's got his base, so it's going to be much harder. I lift his base, boom, come over and then I posture. So now as you can see, we're setting up for what this technique is. This is our shrimp escape or knee to elbow escape. So coach is going to come on me. I just don't want you to be too heavy on me. Yep. So right from here, what I'm going to do, okay, is I have one knee up behind you. You can't see. This leg's straight. So what I'm going to do is turn to the side. You notice I have my hands underneath. I'm going to shrimp backwards, pushing her knee. As I push her knee, this straight leg is going to come up. It's going to rub along the floor all the way up until my elbow meets the knee. That's why they call this elbow to knee. So again, I come here and I'm going to push till the elbow goes to knee. Now all I do is I turn the other way, just like I do when I'm shrimping. I turn the other way, you would come down on me here, boom, now I've got one out. Now all I do is look at, now this is the straight leg, this is the foot that's down. I shrimp this way, boom, here, and I pull guard, just like that. The two escapes that I showed you today, Umbrella and this one, are absolutely going to be your go-to moves, I promise you. You're going to learn fancy things that look really cool, okay, but they're not as effective as these. These are the ones that I use all the time. You know the research there? Okay, so. Yeah, this is the thing I want you guys to remember about jiu-jitsu. You learn an armbar, right? Like today we learned an armbar, and here he's giving me some technical questions. There are 5,000 different ways of doing an armbar. Okay, they're taught different. Their Japanese armbars are different than Brazilian jiu-jitsu armbars. Okay, and you also have to remember they're done differently by different people. There's tons of evolution happening in the martial arts. Okay, we can't always keep up with it, but we're going to learn as we go from our consistency and training, and that's going to help us progress. So again, I got my straight leg here. I'm going to turn, push, shrimping that knee out, pushing it right out. A lot of times they're going to pig pile right back on me, so I turn this way. This knee comes up. This is my wall. She can't get over this. Okay, now I shrimp my other